So debate number one on the news hour tonight, is there a way out, and is it the states that have to lead the light and show the beacon to the people of Tamil Nadu, and is it the political parties who now have to be pulled up and asked, why are you playing politics and not doing the job? Why is it that the Prime Minister has to remind you that the power is vested within the state to uphold the tradition and the custom and the sport of Jallikattu? Let's ask our panelists this evening. We say good evening, Prashanth V, Campaign Manager, Federation for Indian Animal Protection Organization. Khushbu, actor and activist, joins us. Suman C. Raman, political commentator. C. Rajshekharan, advocate, Madras High Court. A. Sarvanan, spokesperson of the DMK, should be joining us any moment now. Nikun Sharma, Government Affairs Liaison of PETA India. Subhabrata Ghosh, Wildlife Project Manager India of World Animal Protection. And Anjali Sharma, Advocate, Animal Welfare Board of India. Good evening to all of you. Before we start the debate, Navika, let's just go across to Shabir Ahmed, joining us from Marina Beach, where Occupy Marina campaign of the people, the Makkal movement, continues. Yes, Shabir.
Well, constant sloganeering and constant protest here at the Marina Beach. The protesters are in no mood to relent. Even now, you can see how the crowd is only getting bigger and bigger. And the people who are spearheading this protest, they are finding it extremely difficult to manage the crowd. And they have been trying to talk to the police officers. Some kind of negotiations were taking place between the police officers and the protesters, but they are clear in their agenda. They want Jallikattu to be conducted and they want the ban against Jallikattu to be lifted. So joining me is Ari, who is one of the main protesters here, who is spearheading this protest here at the Marina Beach. Ari, the Prime Minister had made some kind of promise to the Chief Minister, saying that he has given some kind of a new idea to the Chief Minister, saying that the state can pass a law. So you have been demanding an ordinance. So will you now change your demand that you want the state to do something instead of the central government?
We need a permanent solution. So ordinance is compulsory because it's not my demand. Every crowd, every woman, every kid, it's a soul expression. You see, because lot of kids are saying that you have 3 or 4 days. It's a pain. So they need an ordinance, and at the same time, PCT Act amendment has to implement and change the law for our emotion expression. Please, Modi ji, he's begging you. Please, again I'm saying it, morning also I'm saying to the State Times of India, Tamil Nadu is being part of India. So please give respect to us, because past 60 days, we respect you because your action against...
You have been talking with the police and there was some kind of negotiation that happened today. What did the state government say? Did they convey their message to the protesters?
Again, I'm just making clear right now, there is no committee people here. It's the public, it's a committee. It's a public protest, it's a students' process, all the youngsters is a protest. They are the committee, they are the leaders. The only demand what we are requesting is...
Did you get to hear something from the state government, because the Chief Minister is in Delhi? What did they convey?
They are asking what is your exactly demand. The same thing for 3 days. Same thing what we are saying is PCT Act amendment has to implement and change. At the same time, adjustment has a very important. Immediately you have to implement. Please pass the law. That is only the permanent solution for our religion. Because it is not a temporary solution. We don't want it. We need a permanent solution. We cannot make this huge crowd anymore. It's all our expression. It's all our expression. It's all our expression.
There you can see the atmosphere here is really charged. The protesters say that they will not rest until the central government passes an ordinance, because they feel if something is done by the state government, but that will be something that is temporary, and they also feel that the central government is the authority who can do something, and ordinance is the way forward, and ordinance is the only solution. Back to you, Arnie.
Thanks for the update.
You're watching the News Hour at 9, debate number 1, on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Opening up the
debate here on the News Hour now. Let me first go across to Khushbu. Khushbu, how do you see this entire tossing of the ball from the center to the state and the state to the center? Are our politicians once again letting us down? Because now the rule book has been read out to the state government. Chief Minister O. Selvam landed up at the doorstep of the Prime Minister. He was shown the rule book saying that the 7th schedule of the Constitution under the sports segment clearly says that any state sport can be actually legislated by the state government. It can set rules for it, it can pass an ordinance, it can pass a legislation. So why is the AIADMK government in Tamil Nadu not willing to take a decision on whether they themselves can bring in the legislation and all Tamil parties can then get together and pass this legislation?
It's a huge question mark, Navika, because I heard the Attorney General Rohat speaking, and it really makes you one wonder that if this is what the order says, and the state government has the rights to pass an ordinance under certain acts, then why is that 2015, 16 and the third year 17? They did not speak about it. Why is it the BJP in 2015 itself tell the state government that, listen, you have the power in your own right under the Sports Act to continue with Jallikattu with regulation. And let me remind you that with regulation in 12, 13 and 14, we have seen Jallikattu happening in Tamil Nadu. So when you had the Regulation Act and we have seen Jallikattu happening, why is it that the AIDMK did not continue with it, or why is it the BJP did not inform? You know, the enlightened BJP did not inform the state government. Or I would like to ask, is the state government not aware of this case, of these legalities? I'm sure they are. So who are they trying to cheat? For the last 3 years, the people of Tamil Nadu have been waiting patiently, hoping that either the central government or the state government will speak up.
But it seems, Khushbu, that all political parties...
Radhakrishnan in Tamil Nadu. No,
but it seems, Khushbu, that all political parties are actually playing games around Jallikattu.
If Jallikattu doesn't happen, he continues to be there. Jallikattu didn't happen. He continues to be there in his position. He didn't offer his resignation. But this is the time I would say, no.
What's your position? What's your position?
I would say, let us not go to the blame game.
I'm not asking. I'm saying, what's your position? What should be done?
To stand united.
What should be done?
This is the time to stay united. Stand with the people of Tamil Nadu and bring in an ordinance, whether it is with the state government or the onus is with the central government.
You believe that all parties, national or regional in Tamil Nadu, will actually support if the state government thinks about bringing a legislation that not only regulates but creates the guidelines and the structures for Jallikattu. Because that's what the Prime Minister today has told O. Selvam. Because I'm asking you this question, because there are certain parties, let's say example for the Congress party. An article on the Times of India dated April 27, 2016 talks about the Congress manifesto for the assembly elections, and it says that we will support the ban on Jallikattu. And today we have leaders, we have voices from across the political diaspora who suddenly...
I am very surprised that Times now on a national debate is getting the wrong information. Please get the right manifesto in your hand where the Article 55 very clearly says that we will work together to lift the ban on Jallikattu. Very surprised that Times now on national debate...
No, I'm asking you, I'm saying there was an article I stumbled upon. No, Khushbu, I'm saying I quoted an article which is dated of the Times of India 27th of April 2016.
Get it right, then get it right. That's not the real one.
If that is,
get the facts right before you put it on the national debate.
If that is wrong, you are saying that irrespective, the Congress party or the DMK today and the AIADMK and the other political parties like PMK, everybody today says that we are for the lifting of the ban of Jallikattu. Is that the position? Is that what should be maintained? So the entire...
Yes, definitely.
So will those who actually influenced the ban and first said that let's include the bull into this list of performing animals,
and let me remind
should they all come out and apologize to the Tamil people?
It was the Congress party, it was the UPA government, it was Jairam Ramesh, the then environment minister, who actually advocated the entire ban on Jallikattu himself. He included bull as an animal which had to be banned.
Navika, I'm from Congress and I have the history with me. This was in 2011. But I would like to remind you that despite Mr. Jairam Ramesh bringing in this, 2012, 2013 and 2014, we have seen Jallikattu happening under Regulation Act in Tamil Nadu. Nobody can deny that.
Okay, let's get in Suman C. Raman. Suman C. Raman, if it's such an emotive issue, the question is, does a law that directs those who have been following their rituals and tradition for centuries to abandon them all of a sudden? What if the law actually can be revisited if there is an assurance that's given by the state that there will be new guidelines that will be framed, that Jallikattu will be performed under the new guidelines where prevention of cruelty to animals will also be taken into account, because that's the act of 1960 that is often quoted, saying that that is the act that is being violated. So can safety norms and guidelines be built into the entire issue for urging the Supreme Court to revisit this entire issue?
No. Navika, it's incredible listening to what the Attorney General said. The Tamil Nadu government did come out with a Jallikattu Regulation Act in 2009, which was struck down. Subsequently, you also have to understand that in the concurrent list, item number 17 is prevention of cruelty to animals. So merely calling it a sport is not going to absolve you from the issue of prevention of cruelty to animals, which comes in the concurrent list. Third, the avowed policy of this present government at the center is to include sport in the concurrent list. Sports Minister Vijay Goyal has made a statement saying that we are making efforts to include sports in concurrent list. So that again goes...
But that's for the future, Suman C. Raman. That's for the future. When that will happen, it will be seen. Right now, the onus is on the state government.
1 second, Navika. 1 minute. Let me finish my point. Please tell me one reason, except that suddenly sport is in the because sport is in the state list and not in the concurrent list, the centre cannot. What is the difference between the centre issuing the ordinance or the state issuing the ordinance?
It's a local sport, they say.
Second point.
It's a local sport, they say. So local rules should be made, and the local rules, the onus is on the state government.
I'm sorry if it is a... No, 1 minute. If the centre decides or chooses to pass a similar amendment ordinance, it faces the same hazard in the Supreme Court that the state ordinance is going to pass. What is the difference?
My point, Suman C. Raman, is why is it that the state government and the politicians in the state... I want to take a position for the people today. Please, Suman, hear me out. Suman, hear me out. It's not about what happened in 2009. I am saying... Suman, hear me out, please. And C. Rajashekaran, come into this, and we'll go to our other panelists. So what I am saying is, if the people today want a restoration of their tradition, it's a matter of pride. Is it so difficult for the political parties and the legal minds and the wisdom of the collective in Tamil Nadu? They can't come down and define Jallikattu as a sport, keeping in mind the PCA regulations, keeping in mind what the original Jallikattu is as far as tradition is concerned. Can they not restore it? Can they not pass a new law and then tell the court, see, listen, this is what we are doing. We are defining, we are putting down the guidelines, and we are telling you we will follow it, and then urge the court to revoke the ban. Is it so difficult, Mr. Rajashekaran? Because that's what the people want today.
No, very, very important. Anand,
wait, Suman.
Let me finish my point.
Wait, Suman.
Was this advice given to the state government in 2015? Did they not act on it? In which case, it is the state government which is culpable.
Correct. So I am saying, sir, I am saying this ping pong between state and centre is enough. The people are sitting at Marina Beach and across on the streets of Tamil Nadu saying, we've had enough. Can you please give us a solution? Can you please tell us how is it that we can get our tradition back? There is a method, there is a means, it can be done. Will the will be shown? See, Rajashekaran, that's what I am saying. I am saying today there is an option. You have an option to regulate as a local custom or a local sport. You define it as a custom, define it as a sport, define it properly, enact a legislation, make sure that the guidelines are there, and you ensure that there is no reason for anybody to come and question you whether you are being cruel to the bull or not. Let the law happen. Then it's up to the Animal Welfare Board, up to PETA and anybody else to come out and see if you are following the law and enacting Jallikattu as per tradition is concerned, and then let them challenge if there is any cruelty. But at least move forward. Why can't that happen today?
Yes, Anand, you made a very valid point. I agree with you.
I have a point to make.
This people's movement, Makkal movement in the Marina and the whole state is witnessing an historic satyagraha, people's satyagraha in Tamil Nadu. Not only it is Jallikattu. See, Kachativu belongs to Tamilians, but we cannot go there. Kaveri water, Supreme Court says you give water to Tamil Nadu, but we don't get water. And Mullai Periyar, Supreme Court says yes, you can build the dam, but we cannot do it. So it is everything put together. The Tamil people in Tamil Nadu came together and felt that they have been ill-treated by the others around us, and also the central government, which has not come to us.
So why are you not blaming the state government, C. Rajashekaran?
To the rescue on merit.
Mr. C. Rajashekaran, the question is, the onus is on the state. The state can actually frame guidelines, frame rules for holding a sport that is a localized sport.
No.
Why are you not questioning the state government?
Yes,
You're saying others around us. Who are the others you are referring to?
The incompetent state and see, I'll tell you, the state government, the incompetency has been exposed, and the people have come on the streets. They are there in Marina, they are throughout the state, on the streets of Tamil Nadu, and they want justice to the people for themselves.
No, sir, yes, because I tell you, sir, the courts will rule on the facts presented in front of them. The courts ruled that Karnataka has to release water to Tamil Nadu, despite Karnataka raising an objection, because they said the facts of the matter are that it has to be released. At that time, you hailed the same very court who you are questioning today, who the people are saying that they have been unfair to us. The courts will go with what facts are presented. If there was violation of PCA, if there were videos between 2011 and 2014 which said that Jallikattu in Tamil Nadu, the way it was being conducted was a deviation and a total departure from what the tradition is supposed to be, then so be it. Then people of Tamil Nadu have to accept that what we did was wrong, and we'll go back and uphold tradition. Let the state government formulate a law and then tell the courts, listen, we give us another chance, because now we have structured it. We have made a guideline, not just what you have said. We have formulated the guideline. We have kept all aspects in mind, and we are doing it. Subhabrata Ghosh, what do you think?
Yes, Anand.
Let's move on, bringing our other panelists. Subhabrata Ghosh.
Well, I have to say that, you know,
the order of the Supreme Court.
Yes.
Rajashekar, other panelists, please. Other panelists.
In this huge vitriolic exchange, I think I would like to point out that Article 51AG of the Indian Constitution lays out a fundamental duty for every citizen of India, that it shall be the fundamental duty of every citizen of India to have compassion for every living creature, and to have concern for forests, lakes, and to protect and improve the natural environment.
Correct.
Now, when we are actually in this war of words between what is happening at the state and what is happening at the center, we are being conscious of what our rights are, right? Whether we can actually enjoy something at the expense of the suffering of another creature. But what about our duty, whether it be at the state and at the center? And I have in front of me
emotions and sentiments running so high in the state. You people
no culture can actually be an excuse for cruelty, sir. Excuse me.
Please understand
Mr. Rajashekaran, you may say, Mr. Rajashekaran, that there is an emotional issue, point taken, but at the same time, nobody can defy the judgments of the Supreme Court of India. We are here on the news trying to look for a solution. Why is there no solution? The solution exists. The center has pointed out to a law that can be brought in by the state government. The center has brought out to a law that can be actually made by the state government. The question we are asking, and let me also get in Nikunj Sharma, Government Affairs Liaison of PETA. Nikunj Sharma, the question is, will you commit to ensuring Jallikattu is cruelty free? If the government were to actually ensure that Jallikattu was cruelty free, would then there be a case for revisiting this entire ban Because so far you're saying the rules of the game, the rules of the prevention to cruelty of animals, that has been violated. If there are rules that are framed, if a new law comes in, can then at least this entire issue be revisited? Should it be revisited because of the emotional attachment of the people of Tamil Nadu to its own cultural heritage?
See, the 2009 regulation of Jallikattu Act very clearly laid down certain regulations under which the games could be played. And Jallikattu games were played for well 6 years under those regulations, so-called regulations. And when those events were inspected by the Animal Welfare Board of India, it was found that there were blatant cruelty meted out on animals. Their tails were twisted, they were beaten, they were, all sorts of cruelty that you can imagine were happening with the animals. Now the second point. There was already a Tamil Nadu's regulation of Jallikattu Act 2009. Now, and which was later struck down by the Supreme Court of India, calling it ultra vires to the Constitution, which means it was in total contravention to the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act 1960. Now, if the state government plans to bring another law, wouldn't that be in contravention to the same Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act?
Why will it be?
How can they
why will it be? Because if they define it as a custom or a sport, and if they adhere to the guidelines and they go back to the tradition that is Jallikattu and the way it is supposed to be, and they ensure that there is no cause for concern as far as the bull is concerned, then why should anybody, the onus is on you to then go out and prove that it's not being implemented. The fact is that you cannot be selective about only one bull taming sport in Tamil Nadu, whereas there is nothing being said about what is the atrocities that are being met out, because the arguments, Nikunj, are coming out saying you have a problem with Jallikattu, but you don't have a problem with derby racing, you don't have a problem with camels being raced, you don't have a problem with so many other aspects which are happening. Cockfighting is happening. Why is that being allowed? Why is PETA not having a problem with that? See, the reason why PETA and animal welfare boards are being made villain today is because people in Tamil Nadu are feeling you're being selective.
I'll come to all those. No, Anand, I think there are a lot of there are a lot of false misconceptions that are being raised for us, which I'll answer all of that. But let me just first talk about the point that you said that if another law comes in which sets out guidelines. Tamil Nadu regulation of Jallikattu Act did exactly the same, which has been held ultra vires by the Supreme Court of India, and it was struck down. Sir, so if a new act which would be a copy paste of the Tamil Nadu regulation,
how do you know? How can you take away the right from legislators, Nikunj, how can you take away the right from legislators to frame new laws? That is the supreme job of any legislature, of any parliament. They are under full authority to make the laws. The courts of the land actually interpret the laws that are framed by the Supreme Court laws that are framed by the assemblies and by the parliament.
What we should not do.
So how can you preclude the right of an assembly to actually frame a law?
You are not the judge of the Supreme Court. You are only a PATA.
No. I would like to come in.
Navika, you see the approach of these people. They have got a closed mind. They are not even
Prashanth
before
and
the
Anjali.
law comes, he says, how can the law be
Khushbu,
different?
before I come across to you.
Accept it.
Yeah, Prashanth and Anjali. Yes, Anjali first.
See, if you let me explain, I'll explain the Supreme Court of India's judgment to you.
No, we understand the Supreme Court of India judgment. Nikunj, we understand every bit of the Supreme Court of India judgment. You don't have to explain it to us.
But you don't understand.
We are saying, is there a position now where the law should be revisited?
I want to make it a very categorical.
That's what people of Tamil Nadu want. And let me get in Anjali Sharma. Anjali Sharma, can you preclude the rights of assemblies and the parliament to frame laws? It is their basic right, it is their basic duty to frame the law. So if there is a new law, if there is a new guidelines that can be framed under the constitution, under schedule 7, list number 2 and entry number 33, where sports and regional sports where it is specified, the state government can come and frame its own rules and pass a legislation. The question is, are we precluding that from happening? First of all, the state government is not taking any action in making those laws. Second, are we precluding their right to make those laws as well?
How are we precluding their right? We are not precluding their right. Anybody, yes, the state government can legislate, but the state government will have to adhere to the constitution. You see, they can definitely legislate, they can say this is a traditional sport, we therefore feel that this should happen. But then we have a constitution. we have Article 51AG, we have Article 51AH. Now the state law should not run counter to the Constitution, it should not run counter to the central law, the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals.
But that's why we are saying that the new law will have guidelines. That's why we are saying the new law will have guidelines, and that is why the state will frame a new law.
The state had framed a law. The state had framed a law. The law had guidelines. And what a lot of people don't know is that the Supreme Court for several years tried to ensure that Jallikattu was conducted with regulation, with guidelines. The Supreme Court framed guidelines. But then the Supreme Court realized, not just because PETA said so or the Animal Welfare Board of India said so, the Supreme Court appointed observers. In fact, the Supreme Court obtained reports from collectors, from several state government, district administration officials, and eventually the Supreme Court came to the conclusion, and the Supreme Court studied this question, the Supreme Court studied
so then who should they have pulled up? The argument tonight, Anjali, is... the argument tonight, Anjali, is... Sorry to interrupt you there. The argument tonight, Anjali, is...
The Supreme Court came to the conclusion that this...
The argument tonight is...
be conducted without cruelty.
Let me just put this argument across to you. So who should have been pulled up? Who should have been pulled up by the courts? Those who violated the norms, or should the entire sport have been banned altogether? Should the collectors who came out and gave these reports, who had taken the responsibility on behalf of the state to ensure the rules were implemented, should they have been pulled up? Should the state government have been pulled up? Should the parties and the ministers in question have been pulled up because they failed to implement the law? Should the organizers of the event have been pulled up, or should the event have been banned altogether? That's the argument tonight, Anjali.
You are absolutely right, but I have an answer to that. See, the Supreme Court came to the conclusion that it is not merely a matter of regulating a sport. The Supreme Court came to the conclusion that this is a sport which cannot be conducted without cruelty. It is inherently cruel. You see,
but that's not how Khushbu wants to come in. Khushbu wants to come in. Traditionally, Khushbu was Jallikattu something that actually practiced cruelty to animals. It was supposed to be gold coins. It was supposed to be a man hugging the bull. It was about a man taking control of a bull. There was no cruelty, as Jallikattu was practiced 2,500 years ago.
I would like to, whatever Anjali is saying is absolutely contradicting what the Attorney General has said. It's either Anjali knows the laws better than the Attorney General, or Attorney General is not actually aware of the laws as to what Anjali is saying. So we would like to know who's right, whatever the Attorney General said or whatever Anjali is saying. That goes between them, because who knows the law better. Now after that I would like to ask AWBI, that is Anywhere. Can I finish, please?
It will become very, very clear.
Please, we do not want to read. We have read enough. We have done the history. We have done the history. Anjali, I did not interrupt. Anjali, I did not interrupt when you were speaking.
Very well.
Yeah.
Anjali, I did not interrupt when you were speaking.
Yeah, go ahead. Make your point.
My question to AWBI, Animal Welfare Board of India, as well as PETA, would be, how many years, and all the petitioners who have been to the Supreme Court to ban the sport in Tamil Nadu, I would like to ask each and every one of them, how many years have you spent in a farmer's house in a village where Jallikattu is conducted? How many years have you spent to see how a bull is brought up? How many years you have spent to see that how a farmer, he can go hungry, but he will make sure that the bull is taken care of? How many of you have stayed with a farmer for years together since the baby is born and till the genetic, for a genetic breeding, how the bull is used? How many of you have stayed with a farmer in Tamil Nadu to take it to the Supreme Court? And if you say that it is on the state government, then why didn't the Supreme Court pull up the state government? Why is it the state government kept saying that we will assure that the Jallikattu happens? 2014, when the Supreme Court struck a ban, AIDMK was in power. You mean to say that our late Honorable Chief Minister, Madam Jayalalitha, was not aware of it, or she was misleading the people of Tamil Nadu?
These videos,
what kind of a problem
there is another aspect. It's not. Let's not just blame AIDMK, even DMK, even the governments before that. They were all allowed Jallikattu to degrade to the level, and it just happened unhindered. It was allowed. So it was the state governments and the leaders, the political leaders, who are trying to claim Tamil pride today, who all need to apologize to the people of Tamil Nadu, because they did not adhere to the commitments they made. They did not adhere to the commitments they made. Please. It's very easy to say AIADMK, but I'll also say DMK. It all started around that time, madam. It all started around that time. The DMK was in power when the Congress party and Jairam Ramesh decided that the bull should be notified in the list. The DMK did not make any noise then, and today they are claiming Tamil pride. So the Congress party today says we will work towards the lifting of the ban of Jallikattu, and then on that day, what happened then? We can all ask these questions. But today, let all politicians come back and say we are sorry to the people of Tamil Nadu. Let them say that we will amend our ways and we take responsibility. Prashanth.
But 2012, 2014, 13 and 14 we have happening under UPA government.
Are we saying Jallikattu is a sport? Are we saying Jallikattu is a sport like Kabaddi and volleyball? It is not. Jallikattu is talking about inherent cruelty that is meted out.
Jallikattu is a local sport. Like Derby racing, like greyhound racing is, like camel racing is, Prashanth, like cockfighting is, like ram fighting is.
Supreme Court.
Please. Wait, Khushbu, Prashanth. Listen to what Prashanth is saying.
Irrespective of even any proof of their existence in pre-constitutional days, cannot be.
How much of agitation has happened on Derby racing?
Right?
Aren't the horses whipped? Aren't the horses whipped? What are the horses being fed there? Where is the PETA movement and the animal welfare movement? Where are the noises there? Why are the races happening across the country? Why are camel races happening? Why are cockfights happening? Why are ram fights happening? Why is all of that okay? But only a bull taming sport in Tamil Nadu is a problem?
Right? Peter head of India, Purva says that you are hurting the public.
We should as a civilized society move on. Accept the Supreme Court judgment and also what the center has ruled in its 2014 notification.
Correct.
And move on and
move on to what? Move on to ensure that custom is upheld, cruelty to animals is withheld. Correct? So we are saying, can we find the social and tradition is upheld, cruelty to the animal is withheld?
Of Jallikattu
is that possible, Prashanth?
State legislation.
Is that
state legislation? It was struck down by the Supreme Court of India. So therefore,
that is the reason we are saying, Prashanth. That's the whole point we are making. That should the Supreme Court take into its own hand to decide whether a cultural event has to take place in a state or not, or should it be pulling up people who actually broke the rules? It should have been pulling up people who broke the rules, because courts are meant to bring those to book who have broken the law. You can't change the laws, you can't ban just because you can't catch those who have broken the law. That's the point everybody is making. And see, Rajashekaran, the question once again becomes, should politicians once again continue to pass the buck if the state government has in its own power to make a legislation, to place an ordinance, pass an ordinance at this point in time? Why is it passing the buck? Are politicians going to actually push this in the domain of the courts and then cry foul when the courts actually decide? Why don't our politicians get down and decide first before the courts step in?
See, Tamil Nadu did what it had to do. Tamil Nadu had the TNRJ Act. It was struck down in court. Let us not fool ourselves in saying that
the conviction which is required for anybody to make an ordinance. See, Mr. Rajashekaran, let me, you have asked me a question, allow me to speak. Yeah. Ask this gentleman to keep quiet. Yes, you have a little bit of a delay. He's quiet. Let me finish. Go ahead, please. Go ahead. See, Navika, you raised a very valid point. See, if there is a will, there is a way. It is only the conviction which is required for the politicians, be it the state government or the central government. But Khushbu conveniently forgets that Jairam Ramesh is the person who is responsible for this chaos to begin, because he only started it along with PETA, PFA, all this by allowing this bull to be removed from the list.
Mr. Rajashekaran, may I intervene, Mr. Rajashekaran?
Mr. Patil, I'm saying we want Jallikattu.
No, before...
Mr. Rajashekaran, please wake up from your deep slumber.
Yes. No, before Khushbu.
You said 2011, Jairam Ramesh, can you deny that 12, 13 and 14 we didn't have Jallikattu in Tamil Nadu under the UPA government?
You cannot preach something.
We did have it.
I understand politics better than you. I know what is the history. See, I know better Jallikattu, and I can understand Tamil Nadu than you. Please understand. What do you know? Do you know the history? How it started? How this started?
I know history better than you, Mr. Rajshekhar. I know the history better than you, Mr. Rajshekhar.
You know very little of Jallikattu. I know 100% of Jallikattu. Please understand.
And Mr. Rajshekhar, please, Mr. Rajshekhar, you don't need to outshout Khushbu here and Khushbu, please. Mr. Rajshekhar is wide awake, but he's not aware of one aspect. Mr. Rajshekhar,
wake up! You need a wake-up call, Mr. Rajshekhar. You need a wake-up call. I have all the rights to speak on behalf of Tamil Nadu. You need not remind me whether I can speak on behalf of Tamil Nadu or not. I don't need a Rajshekhar to tell me what the Tamil Nadu is.
I've woke up now. All these politicians have had everything. And now the people are not going to live
Mr. Rajshekhar, you forget you're a politician yourself. You forget you're a politician yourself, Mr. Rajshekhar.
you can keep fighting like this, and the more you fight like this, more you are letting down the people of Tamil Nadu. Because to my panelists and to our viewers, it is because of your finger pointing that there is an outpouring of the people because they have had enough of this. Miss Khushbu and Mr. Rajshekhar, please hear me out today. It is all those people from Jairam. If you want to name Jairam Ramesh, you want to name Andimuthu Raja, you want to name the late Jai Jalalita, I am saying every single political representative and government representative, please hear me out. Please hear me out. Every single person who attended these events, every single organizer who meted out cruelty to the bull, every single person who looked the other way when this was happening, 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16. Every single political representative, councillor, MLA, local leader or administrator and collector, DSP, SP, whoever it is, every person who was present at those events there, from where these videos were produced and shown to the Honorable Supreme Court, after which the ruling happened, they are to blame. Because it was their responsibility to ensure that there was no cruelty and Jallikattu happened in the right spirit and tradition of Tamil Nadu. Those people tonight are claiming Tamil pride. Those people tonight are claiming to support the people of Tamil Nadu. What an irony this is.
People who are talking about the Makkal movement, people who are talking about the Makkal movement, please listen to what Thiruvalluvar said. He said, he who treats other human beings, other living beings with kindness shall never feel the dread of guilt in his soul. So people of Tamil Nadu are kind, are beautiful, are hospitable people.
They are kind.
We should recognize the rights.
Prashanth, you would not have seen a peaceful protest like the one you are seeing in Tamil Nadu. We hope it continues to be that way. But Prashanth, you cannot point a finger to the outpouring on the streets of Chennai. Just look at those visuals. Look at those visuals of the people who are on Marina Beach even at this moment. Yes, those are the visuals on your screen. These are people peacefully protesting for the right of theirs to actually criticize a Supreme Court judgment. They have the right to criticize a Supreme Court judgment. They have a right to demand that they be allowed to follow rules and guidelines but still keep their culture intact. They have a right to do that, ladies and gentlemen. That's the point, Prashanth, we are trying to put across to all those who are talking about the ban and the Supreme Court deciding completely not to lift the ban on Jallikattu. Look at the expression of the people's movement here. That's why it's being called the Makkal movement. And Subhash Raman, those visuals showed you that these people have shown that they can peacefully protest, and that's their right.
The popular movement is obviously misinformed, is obviously being instigated.
The popular movement tonight says, give us our due, give us a chance, and we will regulate again and hold those who are supposed to uphold the regulation accountable. Don't hold the tradition to ransom. Don't ban it.
Let me, Prashanth, you can't continue to dominate this entire discussion. I have to get in Suman Siraman. Once again we are getting information at this point that AIADMK MPs are going to meet the Home Minister Rajnath Singh in New Delhi tomorrow. Suman Siraman, 1 minute, listen to the question before you answer. Again, the AIA-DMK MPs are meeting the Home Minister in New Delhi tomorrow. Why don't they come back to their state and start thinking about their own legislation? Why are our politicians constantly failing us?
First of all, Navika, before I answer the question, I want to apologize to all the people who are watching the show in Tamil Nadu who have seen a very, very unseemly blame game happening on this program. I apologize. We should not. All the people of Tamil Nadu are united in this stand that we want Jallikattu, and I don't think this is a time for us to discuss whether it is for Congress's fault or BJP's fault or ADMK's fault.
Sir, it is all those who played politics around a custom and a tradition who need to apologize, sir. It is Sumant Raman, that's what they need to do. Yes, final 10 seconds, sir, please.
Yeah. 1 minute. Quick. As far as I know, what I'm hearing is that the state government is in the process of preparing some kind of an ordinance, quote unquote, whatever it may be, and we hope to have it out soon, and that is what I'm hearing. The centre has clearly washed its hands.
Sir, it has to be a proper law with proper guidelines that outlines Jallikattu as a traditional sport, as part of the festival of Pongal, and it has to be done properly. If it is a wishy-washy ordinance, it is another disservice to the people of Tamil Nadu.
And it also has to keep the acts of prevention of cruelty to animals in mind, because that's the 1960 Act that also cannot be violated. Will the state government actually come up with an ordinance or a legislation that takes care of all these apprehensions and still keeps the people's will above everything else? Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on this people's movement on Jallikattu that we debated here on debate number 1 tonight on the News Hour.
The News Hour at 9 will be right back after the break.